Hi, I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to look at the PSE Evoke Lite. The bow was released in April 2019, so I missed the 29 release. And in fact, as of today, this bow is still not on the PSE website, and I googled it just before doing this review to see what the price of this bow was, and I couldn't find anyone who's got this bow online. So I don't know if I'm just first, or if just it's missed the whole boat as far as the release of this bow. And as a shop owner, when PSE releases a product mid-year through like this, I haven't updated my catalogue, or my catalogue exists on the drive. I haven't got the bow yet. I wait for it to come in, and by the time it comes in, I've then lost the price list. And basically, someone puts it up on the website, we've got no pricing, so it sits in my shop and I still haven't listed it as far as a price. And I think this is what happens if it's not done when the whole release happens. It kind of gets forgotten about, and that's what I think's happened with this bow. But to me, it's a very interesting bow, and hence why I want to have a look at it. So with the Evoke is now the top of the line PSE bow. It's the flagship bow if you take out the Stealth, and I think the Evoke is the flagship bow, coming in a 31 and a 35 inch riser. PSE introduced the caged riser. It introduced the fusion finish into the paint with the Evolve cam system, which allows massive draw length adjustment, let off adjustment, and you don't need a bow press to do it, so it made it very easy to sell. But my complaint with the Evoke was for hunters. I thought the bow was a little bit too heavy for a hunter. And when the Evoke Lite came out, I thought, well, I'm really interested to have a look at this bow, and hence we're doing this review. So to start off with, this bow comes in this camouflage, the QE Verd, I think they call this, QE Vard or something like that. Now, I thought this was a film dip process as opposed to a fusion process. But this actually looks like a fusion process, but I'm pretty sure it's a film dip process. It comes in black and the mossy oak breakup. The bow weighs 3.8 pounds in mass weight, so it's significantly lighter than the Evoke. There is no cage riser on here. It's the standard Evoke cams with the rotating module, so you can change the let off, and you can change the module to increase the speed of the bow. It's got a Yoke system, so same cams top and bottom. 6-inch brace height, 31 and 17/16 axle. God, where do I get that number from? Speed 338 feet per second, 31.5 inches. You have a flexible cable guard here. This is a carbon bar which is cut away here, so it flexes to reduce torque on the cables. A roller cable guide. Now, I actually don't know the price of this, but I'm going to guess it's going to be pretty close to the Evoke in price. Metal limb pockets. It doesn't have the lateral limb system adjustment where you can adjust the limbs left or right, which I'm happy about because I'm not a huge fan of that system. But overall, it's a nice looking bow. It feels good. The balance in the hand, slightly leaning forward, so I think it will just sort of sit there in my hand when I shoot it. Overall, I'm pretty excited. So let's have a draw and see how this bow feels to draw, and I'll explain this. So to start off with, as I start to draw it, it is very stiff from the very first inch. And part of the reason is you've got these compression limbs. So this is a straight fiberglass limb pulled under lots of tension, which puts lots of tension on these strings and cables. If you don't have preloaded limbs, as you start to draw the bow, it's a bit slack. But this is hard from the get-go. So it's hard. In fact, that whole draw cycle, look, it's probably building in poundage, but it feels like the same all the way through it. This is a 60-pound bow set on 29 inches. Right, so still peaking. Now it's starting to hit a valley. Now it lumps into the valley. Now that's 90%, so when I get back here it feels like nothing. I'm going to let this down. And when you let that bow down, you feel like you've got to push it forward. Some bows, when you go to let it down, it feels scary to let down. And this is almost at that stage, but that kind of did let itself down. And it's kind of like you got to push it into the valley to let it down. And then when it hits the peak, it's like, whoa, I've got to pull it back. And it actually hurts your shoulder to do so. So it's not a big valley. I think this bow is going to be relatively fast. Let's just have a shot and see what it feels like. Felt quiet. Felt good as far as vibration. So I'm going to shoot through a chronograph now. These arrows I shoot in all my tests, the gold tip velocities. The 400s with a 90 grain point, I think they're 327. And I'm hoping the chronograph has got enough light because it is afternoon here and it's winter, so let's hopefully we get enough light to get a chronograph speed. .311. Now 311's quick. Now you're going to say it's not IBO speed, which is published here. That's because I'm not IBO. But 311 is quick. Bows above 300 are quick, and 311's definitely one of the faster bows I've shot. And this bow feels like it's one of the faster bows I've shot. To draw, it's easy to take the shot, like when you're back here. 311. It feels nice to shoot. Feels easy. I like the weight. PSE's got the option of fitting a two-piece quiver. It's got the hole and it's got the little pinhole just at the top there if you want to fit the PSE two-piece quiver. It's got the ability to fit a lower stabilizer if you want, so one pointing backwards as opposed to one pointing forward. Look, it's a nice bow. I'm going to explain how to adjust the draw length. You got two screws, one there and one there. All you do is you loosen them, they're using Torx, and then you rotate it. A being the largest draw length and L being the shortest. You can currently see it's on D. Each letter's half an inch. So it's set on 29 right now. And it goes to 30 and a half. So C would be 29.5. B would be 30. And then A would be 30.5. You got to do it same top and bottom because they're the same cam, top and bottom. That simple. To adjust the let off, that little screw up there, move it forward, you decrease the let off. Now why do you want less let off? Because you want more holding weight back here, because you actually don't want to hold 90% let off, because you find 90% let off a bit scary when you're holding it back here and aiming. I actually shoot about 65% let off because I like to have a bit of tension in my back when I'm shooting. Now that's just a personal preference thing. There are many competition shooters who shoot high let off and many who shoot low let off. So it's not that there's one thing, one preference that shoots everyone. I'm going to say the majority of target archers probably shoot less let off and the majority of hunters shoot high let off. And that would be because hunters would like the idea of aiming for longer periods of time, and target shooters would often be shooting back tension. They're looking for a lot of tension in their back muscles to get the shot off. But saying that, there is plenty of people who shoot back tension release aids which shoot 90% let off, and there's people who shoot wrist releases who shoot 65% let off. So it's just a personal preference. It's going to make no difference. PSE's lifetime warranty. There's no warranty on strings and cables on any bow manufacturer. So I want to go and shoot this at 18 meters and let's see what sort of groups we shoot. Now I'm just shooting a basic whisker biscuit, basic 5-pin sight, no peep sight. Some people are like, why don't you shoot a peep sight? Because I'm just making life simple. You don't need a peep sight. Is it going to make you more accurate to have a peep sight? What's going to make you more accurate is to shoot more arrows. That's for certain. Like recurve shooters can shoot great scores with fingers, with no let off, no peep sight, no scope, but they've got to shoot lots of arrows to do so. So, look, for me it's about, I think with beginners, especially beginner archers, they've got a way of making their life complex. They're like, oh, what size peep do I need? What sight do I need? Look, just go shoot arrows. Just go shoot, have some fun. Worry about that stuff later. Worry about whether you need a $300 hunting sight after you've been shooting for a while. I'm always keep it simple. So let's shoot some shots and see if they go in the middle. Okay, so the first thing is I find this bow very easy to aim. I'm not getting any of that sort of shake. Now I shot the Hoyt CRX 35 2 days ago and I got a little bit of this shake. Now it didn't appear in the groups down there, but with this, that sight pin was completely steady. So that was good. I don't know what the group's going to be like. I think I'll shoot alright groups with this. It's got a positive draw stop when I get back there. It's a smooth draw, there's very little shock. 6-inch brace height, I'd definitely shoot better with 7, but I think I'll shoot okay with 6. So. Now when it comes to stabilizers, fitting stabilizers to this bow, because this bow is light, adding a stabilizer weight out the front here makes it harder for you to move the bow. And that's what I like about lighter bows, especially for hunting, because if you want to add stabilizers, if you want to add a bow quiver, you're going to come up with an overall bow weight which is lighter than some bows' mass bow weight. So I prefer my hunting bows to be lighter, and that way I can add weight wherever I want it. Or if I just want to keep a light rig because I'm walking in the bush all day and I don't want to hold on to a lead weight. Some people like heavy bows if you're a tree stand hunter, where you hang your bow in a tree and wait for a deer to come up to you. Heavy bows are fine. Heavy bows generally you're going to hold a little more stable, but I'm finding this really comfortable. I mean, my ideal hunting bow would be a bow probably around 33 inches to 31 inches. And I do debate the 35 inch, but I think compact's a little bit better for hunting. I definitely like under 4 pounds. I want a bit of speed for that judging distance, because when I come up on that target and I don't know whether it's 30 or 40 meters, that speed's just going to give me a little bit more edge. Now the bows under this in the price point, I'm going to stick with PSE. The PSE's got the Response, which to me is a very similar looking bow to this. It's got the same cams, similar looking riser, but plastic limb pockets, priced at about 1,000. So I'm going to guess this is more expensive because of the metal limb pockets. But besides that, this bow and the Response, or the React, because they renamed the bow, to me is a very, very similar bow. Then PSE also released the Drive XL mid-year. That to me is also a very similar shooting bow to this. It doesn't have the adjustability in the cams this bow has as far as let off. The cams are slightly different as far as it doesn't have a yoke based system. Plastic limb pockets versus machine limb pockets. Price point about 700 Australian dollars. Let's say this is going to be around 1200. I'm only basing that because I think it's a little bit cheaper than the Evoke, but more expensive than the Response. So I'm guessing around $1,100–1,200 for this, versus the Drive about at $700. Now people always say, well, should I spend the extra $500 to buy the better bow? That's up to you. It's up to you to work out what your budget is, how much you're into this sport, how your budget stretches, what $500 is for you. Would I spend the $500? It depends how much I shoot. If I shoot a lot, and I do shoot a lot, but I shoot a lot of target archery. If I shoot a lot of field 3D shooting, $500 for the bow would be nothing to me, because when you travel you're going to spend that anyway. So I basically buy the best bow I sort of can lay my hands on, that I like the most. But if you're going to shoot once a month, money's tight, well maybe you're better off with the cheaper bow. Now I'm going to say that. Now I brought myself a PSE Evolution. I'm going to guess 8-9 years ago. I still have that bow today, and back then it was the top of the line, 3D field bow on the market back then. It's still a good bow today. And if you buy yourself a good bow as opposed to a cheaper bow, you're never going to say to yourself, well, I wish I'd spent that $500 extra and got that better bow. If you buy yourself the Drive for $700, you're going to say, geez, I wish I spent the extra and got the limb pockets, or I wish I had those yokes, I wish I had the adjustability, I wish I could try the faster modules, and it was $500, right? But if you don't care about any of that stuff, well, you just buy the cheaper bow and be happy with it. Look, I find the aiming really nice, the holding's nice, the draw's nice, the weight's nice. Okay, so this bow comes in a 60 and 70 pound options. I'm pretty sure they don't make 50. So while I'm sitting here and I just shoot this bow, you have multiple sight spots where you can put the sight. That's really good because you want you to put your sight in the middle of your peep. So you can see where my top pin is. I want about my 30 meter pin to be in the middle, because 30 meters is going to be average spot. So you want that about in the middle of your sight. So 50 meters you want towards the bottom, 10 meters towards the top. So the multiple sight positions on the riser to me is good. So what do I like about this bow? I like the weight, I like the speed, I like the adjustability on the cams. Things I would like to see improved, or things I would like to see, I think this bow is going to be undersold for 2019 because of the release date, and there's been lack of information and publicity about this bow. I mean, it's not even displayed in my shop, and you know, I've got lots of PSE bows on the wall. I would like to see this bow on a 50-pound model, so it's suitable for ladies and kids, maybe even a 40-pound model. Now, you're not going to sell many of them, but it's nice to have that ability to have that option. And the mass weight of this bow means this bow is completely suitable for kids and ladies, so I would like that. Well, they sound nice down the other end. I assume they go in the middle. It sound like Robin Hood. I would like the ability for colours. I'm talking coloured risers, coloured limbs. I mean, I sold a Hoyt this week as a black riser with metallic red limbs. It looked awesome. That's what I think PSE should be doing. It's not that it's going to be a mainline bow, because your mainline bow is for your hunters. But I think there's a tremendous upside to hitting the recreational archers, and I'm talking worldwide sales, not just in America. So I think the whole ability to have target, customizable colors. Okay, let's go and shoot. I felt like that arrow went high, but I actually can't see anything, so let's go and have a look. Okay, so I'm here at the target, and I look at that group, and I'm going to say that is awesome. That is a 5-pin hunting sight that I literally did not sight in. When I say did not sight it in, I didn't know whether it was going to group on the target. I shot 5 shots before doing this video, and the arrows shot out here. That's them there. I just bumped my sight across the sight, moved up a little bit, and I was just lucky they hit the middle. So it was like, I didn't really care, I just wanted to get a group. But they are centered. And the thing about this group, like, I can pretty much get my fingers around the whole bunch. There's one there, which obviously I can't, but it's gone in too far. But that's an awesome group. And when I'm going to talk about awesome groups here, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 arrows that aren't 10s, and I don't know how many arrows I shot. I've got a fair few of these VAP arrows, which are just awesome arrows. But my point is, if you're shooting at a club, and I'm talking a target club, and that was 18 meters, and this is an 18-meter round, a Vegas round, it's a world archery round, that is going to be a good score. And that's with a hunting bow, no stabilizers, no peep sight, a whisker biscuit arrow rest, a $20 hunting sight. It's going to be a good score. And at a club, you may not be the club champion with that score, but you're going to be close to it. And that's with a basic hunting setup. And that's why I always do the same setup over and over again, because it gets back to how much you shoot. And I'm not shooting much at the moment. I've got asthma. You're going to say, well, I thought that was all fixed. I'm looking after my son's cat. I'm allergic to cats. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to go back to what I would like to see on this bow. I think this is an awesome bow. When it comes to me picking a bow for 3D archery, like walking around an unmarked field course, simulated hunting, this would be right on the top of my list. As much as I like the Evoke, and the Evoke is one of the nicest bows I think in my store that I've reviewed, and I haven't reviewed the new Elite, which came in today, the Elite Reveal. Anyway, we'll be doing that in a couple of weeks. I haven't reviewed that one. I think I shot really well with the Elite Revolve. The Evoke, to me, is one of the nicest bows on the market. I love the adjustability function that I can put those modules on, increase the speed. I like the whole finish of it, but I love the weight of this bow, and weight's always a big thing for me. And that's why in my hunting bows, I've always liked the carbon risers because they're nice and light. The carbon stealth's always been one of my favorites because it's nice and light, but I don't like the price point. At this price point, given the weight, I really like this price point. So to me, this is awesome, and this would go right to the top of my list as far as a 3D hunting setup, because I've got the accuracy right there. There's accuracy. I've got the speed for 3D. I've got the lightness, which is what I want. I've got a price point I like. I've got adjustability. I probably already said that, but I love adjustability. So it means if I go to sell the bow or I want to set the bow up for someone else, it's literally a couple of minutes. I love that. These cables are pretty, when I say pretty doable, they're pretty easy to replace. Yeah, you need a bow press, but you don't have to pull off the cams to replace them, as you do in some bows. Overall, I really like this product. It's one of my favorite bows I think I've shot, and I'll probably say that on all my reviews. These things are not my favorite. I think PSE should scrap them, and maybe they fix them and they don't move anymore, but like they used to move. And if they do move, there are some other products. The bows shoot fine without them. I don't think you need them, but there are some other products from Bowjacks that are pretty good, but maybe PSE has fixed these, but they used to move. There used to be little strap things that PSE used to put around, rubbers, they were fine, but these were not great. But overall, I love the bow. You know, you could probably add some silencers to the string just to make it a little bit quieter, but overall, love the bow, and that's an awesome group, and I so need to shoot more. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. The PSE Evoke Lite, check it out. It's in your local archery shop now. The graphics on the limbs are cool. I'm going to say each PSE limb's a different poundage too, so when you pull back a bow, that stops the torquing of the cams, and you can also shim the cam left to right if you get paper tears, but with all these bows you don't want to really be doing that. So overall, great product. I'm going to say PSE, and you're going to say you're a PSE fanboy. Customer service at PSE, and I'm going to say from my sales rep at PSE, is just outstanding. And sales reps, I'm going to say, are so undervalued, but I so appreciate it, because when you order a product, they can tell you where it's up to, when it's going to be shipped, where it's up to. When I say where it's up to, you know, whether it's going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whether it's shipped. If you've got a warranty claim, you just quote the serial number, which is on the side of the bow just there, and it's all tracked. It's just, there's no headaches. And for me, there's lots of companies which are lots of headaches for me, and this is a big, and you're going to say, well, it's based on your volume, you're a big customer with these. I tell you, I've got some companies who I do big volumes with, and are just nightmares to get product out of. But I mean, just things that make this product simple. These cams are the same on most of the PSEs. So if you need to buy a new cam, or you need replacements, it's the same cam on most of the PSEs. It's just easy. You don't have to think being a dealer, you don't have to think being a customer. You just quote the part number, which is just there. It's just simple. So in 10 years time, you need a cam for this bow, they're going to have them, because this was the cam they used back in 2019. This was the cam they used in 2018. There's going to be a whole heap of these parts available, and that's what I love about the whole PSE product range. And that's a big selling feature for me being a shop, because when I have customers who have problems with parts or with their bow, you need to be able to get it fixed. Otherwise the shop wears the cost, or they just have unhappy customers. So anyway, I think this is a great product, and I shot really well with it. I'm really happy. Anyway, have a great day, and the more you shoot, the better you shoot. Thanks for watching. Bye.